Good morning, everyone. This is me, Dr. Mohammed Al-Wishi from London College of International Studies. We have new subject on our new year 4. We call the subject Commercial and Academic Translation. In this subject, we will talk about foundations of commercial translation, foundations of academic translation, pedagogical frameworks for translation learning. Introduction. The importance of translation in a globalized world. In our interconnected world, translation serves as the essential bridge that connects cultures, facilitates international commerce, and enables a global exchange of knowledge. As businesses expand across borders and academic research becomes increasingly collaborative. The demand for skilled translators who can navigate both commercial and academic contexts has never been greater. Translation is far more than converting words from one language to another. It's about conveying meaning, preserving intent, and bridging cultural divides, whether facilitating multi-million-dollar business deal or make groundbreaking research accessible to scholars worldwide. Translators play a pivotal role in shaping our globalized society. This comprehensive learning resource distinguishes between two critical domains of translation practice: commercial translation, which focuses on business documents, marketing materials, and trade communications, and academic translation, which deals with scholarly articles, research papers, and educational content. Each domain requires distinct skills, approaches, and ethical considerations. Throughout this presentation, you will explore the fundamental principles, practical strategies, and professional standards that define excellence in both commercial and academic translation. By the end of this learning journey, you will be equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to succeed as a professional translator in today's dynamic global landscape. Learning objectives. Grasp the fundamental differences between commercial and academic translation, including their unique characteristics, challenges, and applications in professional context. Build hands-on translation competencies for both business and academic environments through real-world exercises and case studies. Develop critical thinking ability that enable you to navigate cultural nuances and make informed decisions in translation practice. Learning outcomes. Accurately translate business contracts, reports, and advertisements while maintaining legal precision and cultural appreciation for target markets. Demonstrate expertise in translating scholarly works while preserving the original meaning, academic tone, and contextual integrity essential for research dimension. Apply enhanced awareness of cultural factors that influence translation decisions, enable effective communicative across linguistic and cultural boundaries. Let's start with Chapter 1, Foundations and Commercial Translation. Commercial translation encompasses the specialized practice of translating business-related documents and materials that facilitate internal and international trade, marketing, and corporate communications. This domain of translation is characterized by focus on clarity, persuasiveness, and cultural adaptation to ensure that business messages resonate with target audiences across different markets. The scope of commercial translation is remarkably broad, extending from legal contracts and financial reports to marketing brochures and product descriptions. Each document type presents unique challenges and requires specific expertise. Unlike literary translation, which may prioritize aesthetic questions. Commercial translation emphasizes functionality and results. The translated text must accomplish specific business objects, whether that's close a deal, complying with regulations, or persuading customers. Four key features define excellence in commercial translation. First, professionalism demands that translators maintain the highest standards of quality and adhere to industry best practices. Second, timeless is crucial in the fast-paced business world where delays can result in missed opportunities or financial losses. Third, accuracy ensures that all information is conveyed correctly, particularly critical in legal and financial contexts where errors can have serious consequences. First, cultural sensitivity represents perhaps the most nuanced aspects of commercial translation. Translators must understand not only the languages involved, but also the business cultures, consumer behaviors, and the market dynamics of both sources and target regions. This cultural competence enables translators to adapt messages appropriately, avoiding miscommunication or cultural fox paths that could damage business relationships or brand reputation. The commercial translator thus serves as both a linguistic expert and a cultural consultant, bridging not just languages but entire business ecosystems. Contracts, legal documents, precise translation of terms, conditions, and legal obligations, marketing materials, culturally adapt messaging that resonates with target audiences, financial reports, accurate rendering of numerical data and financial terminology. The role of business English in commercial translation. Business English has emerged as the lingua franca of international commerce, serving as a specialized register of the English language tailored for trade, negotiation, and corporate communication. This specialized language variety possesses distinct characteristics that set it apart from general English, including a specific vocabulary, conventional phrases, and stylistic norms that facilitate efficient business transactions across cultures. Specialized jargon. Business English incorporates industry-specific terminology, acronyms, and technical expressions that require deep domain knowledge. Terms like ROI, B2B, due diligence, and deliverables carry precise meanings within business contexts. Translators must not only understand these terms, but also identify equivalent expressions in the target language that convey the same professional connotations and specificity. Stylistic features, writing style in business communication trends toward formality, directness, and clarity. Documents typically employ active voice, concise sentences, and structured formatting. However, these stylistic preferences vary across cultures. Some business cultures favor more elaborate relationship oriented communication. Translators must navigate these differences while maintaining the document's professional character. Cultural nuances beyond vocabulary and style. Business English carries cultural assumption about hierarchy, decision-making process, and the communication protocols. For instance, American business English may emphasize individual achievement and direct communication, while Asian business contexts might prioritize group harmony and indirect expression. Effective translation requires awareness of these underlying cultural frameworks. Teaching models for commercial translation often emphasizes the dual principles of faithfulness and diligence. A framework borrows from classical Chinese translation theory. Faithfulness ensures that the translation accurately conveys all information from the source text, maintaining factual accuracies and competent and completeness. Elegance refers to producing target language text that reads naturally and professionally, without awkward phrasing or literal translation that might confuse readers. This balance is particularly challenging in commercial translation, where technical accuracy must coexist with persuasive or clear communication. Successful translators develop the ability to honor both principles simultaneously, creating translation so, that are both precise and polished. Case study: effective commercial translation practice. Translation challenge. The English language contracts must be translated into Japanese in a way that preserves all legal obligations while accounting for significant differences in legal systems, business practice, and communication styles between American and Japanese business cultures. The source contract uses common American legal terminology and assumes certain default legal principles from U.S. commercial law. Japanese business contracts, however, typically employ different structural conventions and may prioritize relationship maintenance over rigid legal enforcement. Scenario overview: a multinational corporation based in the United States is negotiating a manufacturing partnership with a company in Japan. The agreement involves a complex intellectual property provision, quality standards, and dispute resolution mechanisms. Legal terminology: identify equivalent legal concepts in Japanese law, consulting with legal experts when necessary to ensure terms like force majeure and indemnification are rendered accurately. Verification process: conduct a thorough review with bilingual legal professionals and subject matter experts to ensure the translation functions effectively within the Japanese legal and business context. Cultural adaptation: adjust the tone and the phrasing to align with Japanese business communication norms while maintaining legal precision. For example, softening overly direct language without compromising legal clarity. Successful outcome: the translated contracts facilitates smooth negotiations, demonstrating how experts translation bridges legal systems and enables successful international business partnerships. This case study illustrates the profound impact that professional commercial translation can have on global business success. The translator's role extends beyond the linguistic conversion to include cultural, medical, and legal interpretation by addressing both the technical requirements and cultural expectations of the target audience. Translation enabled clear understanding and mutual agreement between parties from vastly different business cultures. Such successful outcomes underscore why commercial translation requires specialized expertise and why organizations invest significantly in high quality translation services for critical business documents. Chapter 2: Foundations of Academic Translation. Academic translation represents a specialized domain focused on rendering scholarly works, research, publication, education, or educational materials, and scientific documentation from one language to another. This field plays an increasingly vital role in our globalized academic landscape, where knowledge production and dissemination transcend national and linguistic boundaries. Through academic translation, researchers can share their findings with international audiences. Students can access educational resources from around the world, and institutions can participate in global scholarly conversations. The significance of academic translation extends beyond mere empowerment. Information transfer. It serves as the foundation for international collaboration, enabling researchers from different linguistic backgrounds to build upon each other's work. It democratizes knowledge by making important research accessible to non-English speaking populations, challenging the dominance of English in academic publishing. Furthermore, academic translation facilitates cross-cultural understanding in fields ranging from social science to natural sciences, where different cultures' perspectives can enrich theoretical frameworks and methodological approaches. Complexity. Academic texts often involve sophisticated argumentation, nuanced theoretical discussions, and intricate logical structure that demand careful analysis and reproduction in the target language. Terminology, specialized vocabulary varies by discipline and may lack direct equivalents across language, requiring translators to research field-specific terminology extensively. Precision. Academic translation permits no ambiguity of approximation. Every claim, citation, and conceptual distinction must be rendered with exacting accuracy to maintain scholarly integrity. What distinguishes academic translation from general translation work? While all translation requires accuracy, academic translation operates under unique constraints and expectations. The complexity of academic discourse demands that translators possess not only linguistic expertise, but also deep familiarity with the subject matter, enabling them to comprehend and accurately convey specialized concepts. The precision required in academic translation leaves no room for creative interpretation or loose adaptation. Each term, reference, and argument must be faithfully represented to preserve the author's scholarly contribution and maintain the text's credibility within academic communities. Academic translation challenges and strategies. Navigating technical jargon, every academic discipline develops its own specialized vocabulary and conceptual frameworks. Terms that appear straightforward may carry specific technical meanings within their field. For instance, validity means something different in psychology research than in legal scholarship or logical argumentation. Translators must invest time in understanding these discipline-specific meanings and identifying appropriate equivalents in the target language. This often requires consulting specialized dictionaries, academic glossaries, and subject matter experts. In cases where no equivalent term exists, translators may need to create neologisms or provide explanatory notes. Understanding cultural context. Academic discourse is embedded in cultural and intellectual traditions that shape how arguments are constructed, evidence is presented, um, and the knowledge claims are justified. Western academic writing may emphasize individual authorship and explicit argumentation, while other traditions might prioritize collective knowledge and indirect communication. Best practice: maintain a professional glossary of discipline-specific terms with carefully researched equivalents. Update this resource continuously as you encounter new terminology and verify translation with subject matter experts whenever possible. Localization: strategy adapt examples, references, and cultural allusions while maintaining the original arguments, integrity, and the author's scholarly voice. Quality assurance: implement rigorous review process, including self-editing, peer review, and expert consultation to ensure accuracy and academic appropriateness. Integrity preservation: maintain academic standards by accurately representing research methodologies, findings, and theoretical frameworks without distortion of oversimplification. The importance of localization in academic translation cannot be overstated, while maintaining the original meaning and in Tense, in paramount, effective academic translation often requires adapting certain elements to make them comprehensible and relevant to the target audience. This might involve explaining cultural references unfamiliar to target readers, converting measurement systems, or clarifying concepts that have different connotations across cultures. However, such adaptations must never compromise the accuracy of research findings, the fidelity of arguments, or the author's scholarly contribution. We'll stop here and we will revise what we said in this session. Or we will continue case study as well until chapter 3, and then chapter 3 we will continue next session. So case study: translating scholarly article research context. A prominent Chinese psychologist has authorized groundbreaking article examining urbanization patterns and social mobility in rapidly developed cities. The research employs mixed methods, combining quantitative demographic analysis with qualitative interview. The article is being translated from Chinese to English for publication in an international sociology journal. Tomb preservation: Chinese academic writing often employs a moral, formal, indirect style compared to directness valued in English academic prose. Translator must balance maintaining the author's scholarly voice while adapting the tune to meet Anglophone journal expectations. This involves preserving the author's analytical sophistication while ensuring the argumentation flows clearly for English-speaking readers. Citations and terminology: the article references Chinese government documents, local newspapers, and the domestic scholarly works. The translator verified that all citations follow the target journal style guide, translates sources titles accurately, and ensure that English language equivalents are used for concepts that have established translations in the field. Meaning accuracy: key psychological or sociological concepts rooted in Chinese social theory, such as Guangxi, social networks, or Danovi. Work units require careful handling. The translator provides brief explanatory phrases when introducing these items, helping international readers grasp their significance without lengthy digressions that might disrupt the article's flow. Cultural references to Chinese policy initiatives, historical periods, and the social phenomena are contextualized appropriately. For instance, mentions of China's household restoration stem Hoko include a brief clarification of its function, ensuring that readers unfamiliar with Chinese society can still follow the arguments, logic, and implications. The successful translation of this scholarly article demonstrates how academic translation facilitates international knowledge exchange by making this Chinese sociologists' research accessible to the global academic community. The translation enables cross-cultural dialogue about urbanization and social change. English-speaking researchers can now engage with theoretical frameworks and empirical finds from Chinese contexts, enriching comparative sociology and challenging Western centric assumptions about development and social mobility. This case exemplifies academic translation's role in democratizing knowledge production and fostering genuinely global academic conversations where diverse perspectives can inform and challenge each other. We will stop here, and before that, let's revise what we had in these two chapters. We spoke about foundations of commercial translation. Commercial translation represents a specialized domain within the broader translation profession, encompassing the rendering of business-related texts from one language to another, while maintaining accuracy, cultural appropriateness, and commercial effectiveness. Unlike literary or academic translation, commercial translation serves the practical needs of businesses operating in global markets, requiring translators to possess not only linguistic expertise but also business acumen and cultural intelligence. This chapter explores the foundational and the fundamental concepts, principles, and competencies that underpin successful commercial translation practice, providing a framework for understanding this dynamic and economically vital field. Now let's move to the definition of commercial translation. What is commercial translation? Commercial translation refers to the translation of business-oriented texts and documents that facilitate international trade, marketing, corporate communication, and business operations across linguistic and cultural boundaries. This encompasses a wide range of materials, including marketing and advertising content, corporate communications and reports, business correspondence, contract and legal arguments and agreements, product documentation and user manuals, financial statements and reports, websites and digital content, sales materials and brochures, training materials and presentations. Distinguishing features: commercial translation differs from other translation types in several key ways. First, purpose-driven. Commercial texts serve specific business objectives such as selling products, informing a stakeholder, or facilitating uh, transactions. The translation must support these objectives effectively. Audience-centric commercial translation requires acute awareness of target audiences, their preferences, cultural expectations, and decision-making process. Brand consistency, maintaining brand voice, tone, and the messaging across languages in paramount and commercial contexts. Time sensitivity business operations often demand rapid turnaround times, requiring translators to work efficiently without compromising quality. Measurable impact, unlike literary translation, commercial translation. um Success can often be measured through business metrics such as sales, engagement, or conversation rates. The role of the commercial translator, core responsibility. Commercial translator serves multiple roles beyond the mere linguistic conversion. Language expert possesses native or near native proficiency in target languages and excellent command of source languages with deep understanding of linguistic nuances, idioms, and gesture vibrations. Cultural mediator adapts content to resonate with target culture, values, norms, and expectations, navigating cultural sensitivities and avoiding potential misunderstanding or offense. Business consultants, understanding business contexts in industry terminology and commercial objectives, often providing strategic input or market-specific adaptations, quality and assurer ensures accuracy, consistency, and appropriateness of translated content through meticulous review and editing process. Project manager coordinates with clients, manages deadlines, and maintains clear communication throughout the translation process. Required competencies. Success in commercial translation demands multifaceted skill set, linguistic competence, mastery of grammar, vocabulary, syntax, and stylistic conventions in both source and target languages, with the ability to recognize and reproduce various text types and gestures. Cultural competence, deep knowledge of cultural context, consumer behaviors, and the market characteristics in both source and target cultures, including awareness of taboos, preferences, and communication styles. Subject matter expertise, familiarity with business terminology, industry-specific vocabulary, and commercial translation across relevant sectors, technical proficiency, competence in translation technology, tools including CAT, computer-assisted translation tools, terminology management styles, and various file formats. Research skills, ability to quickly locate and verify information, terminology, and the cultural reference to ensure accuracy and appropriateness. Business acumen, understanding of marketing principles, business communication conventions, and commercial strategy. Core principles of commercial translation. Principle number one, accuracy and fidelity. While adaptation is often necessary, commercial translation must first ensure accurate transfer of information. Factual errors, omissions, or misrepresentations can have serious legal and financial consequences. This includes precious rendering of technical specifications, accurate translation of numbers, dates, and measurements, correct interpretations of legal and contradictual terms, faithful representation of brand messages and values. Principle number two, cultural adaptation. Effective commercial translation goes beyond literal translation to achieve cultural relevance. This involves adapting idioms, metaphors, and cultural references, modifying examples and scenarios to resonate with target audiences, adjusting tone and formality levels according to cultural communication norms, recognizing and respecting cultural sensitives and taboos. Principle number three, purpose orientation. Every commercial text serves a specific business purpose. Translations must preserve and support this purpose by maintaining persuasive force in marketing materials, preserving legal enforceability in contracts, ensuring usability in instructional content, supporting brand position and messaging. Principle number 4, target audience focus. Commercial translation prioritizes the needs, expectations, and the preferences of the target audience rather than adhering rigidly to source text conventions. This means writing in natural idiomatic target language, adapting content structure and organization to audience preferences, considering literacy levels to technical expertise, corresponding audience, cultural values, and sensitivities. Principle number 5, consistency and coherence. Maintaining consistency across translated materials is crucial for brand integrity and user experience. This includes consistent terminology usage, uniform tone, and style across documents, coherent brand voice representation, standardized formatting, and structural conventions. Principle number 6, quality and professionalism. Commercial translation demand the highest quality standards because poor translations damage brand reputation. Errors can lead to legal liabilities. Quality affects customer trust and business outcomes. Professional standards maintain the credibility of the translation profession. The commercial translation process. Step number 1, project analysis. Before beginning translation, commercial translators analyze purpose and objectives. What business goals does this text serve? Target audience, who will read this translation and what are their characteristics? Text type and genre, what conventions apply to this type of document? Cultural context, what cultural factors will influence reception? Resources available, what references, materials, glossaries, or style guides exist? Now let's go to step number 2, preparation and research. Through preparation ensures quality and efficiency, reviewing reference materials and previous translations, researching unfamiliar terminology and concepts, creating or updating glossaries and term bases, clarifying ambiguities with clients, setting up translation memory and the CAT tools. Now let's go to step number 3, translation. The actual translation work involves producing an initial draft focusing on meaning transfer, ensuring terminology or terminological accuracy and consistency, adapting cultural references and expressions, maintaining appropriate register and tune, documenting decisions and questions for review. Step number 4, revision and editing, quality assurance through multiple review stages. Self-revision, translators, reviewers, or reviews own work for errors and improvements, bilingual review, comparing translation against source for accuracy and completeness, monolingual review, reading target text independently to ensure natural language and coherence, specialist review, subject matter experts, verifies technical accuracy when needed. Now let's go for step number 5, proofreading and finalization. Final quality checks include correcting the typographical errors, verifying formatting and layout, ensuring consistency in presentation, conducting final terminology checks, preparing delivery in required formats. Now let's go for client feedback and revision. Professional service includes incorporating client feedback and requested changes, explaining translation decisions when needed, marketing reasonable visions and revisions within scope, maintaining positive client relationships. Types of commercial translation, marketing and advertising translation. This highly creative domain requires transcreation skills to preserve emotional impact and persuasive power while adapting to cultural contexts. Challenges include translating slogans, adapting brand names, and localizing visual verbal combination. corporate communities. Internal and external business communications require formal register, clarity, and consistency. This includes annual reports, press releases, internal memos, and stakeholder communications. Legal and contractual translation, high stakes texts requiring absolute precision, understanding of legal systems, and awareness that slight variations in wording can have significant legal implications. Financial translation is a specialized field demanding familiarity with counting principles, financial terminology, and regulatory requirements across different markets. Technical and product documentation use manual, the technical specification and product description, requiring clarity, accuracy, and usability and the target language and cultural context. What the website and digital content localization, adapting online content for different markets, including consideration of SEO or SEO, user experience and the multimedia elements, the business context of commercial translation, the global business environment. Commercial translation exists within the context of globalization and international business. Understanding this environment includes awareness of international trade dynamics and market structures, cross-cultural business communication patterns, legal and regulatory frameworks governing international commerce, economic factors influencing translation, demand, and pricing. The translation industry. Commercial translators operates within a professional ecosystem that includes language service providers, LSPs, translation agencies that connect translators with clients, direct client companies that hire translators directly, or professional associations, organizations just like Tujman, for example, that set standards and provide professional development, technology vendors, companies providing translation tools and platforms, educational institutions, universities, and training providers developing translator competencies. Now let's go for the business models and work arrangements. Commercial translators may work as freelancer translators, independent professional managing their own businesses, and house translators, employees of corporations or organizations, agency translators working regularly with translation agencies, hybrid arrangements combining multiple working relationships, ethics and professional standards, ethical principles. Commercial translators adhere to professional ethics, including confidentiality, protecting client information, and and uh, proprietary proprietary content from unauthorized disclosure, competence accepting only projects within one linguistic and subject matter competence, integrity providing honest assessments of capabilities and delivering promised quality, professional development, maintaining and improving skill through continuous learning, fair business practices, transparent pricing, clear contracts, and honest client communication. Professional standards, industry standards, guide quality and professional contract. Quality standards ISO 1700 and other quality frameworks, certification programs, the professional certifications demonstrating competence, code of ethics, guidelines from professional associations, best practice, industry accepted methods and approaches. Terminology in commercial translation, translation memory systems. Translation memory ATM technologies technology stores the previously translated segments for reuse. ensuring efficiency and consistency. Understanding TM systems is essential for modern commercial translators. Computer-assisted translation CAT tools. CAT tools integrate multiple terminologies to support translation workflow, including translation memory, terminology management, quality assurance checks, and project management features. Machine translation, MT. While human translation remains essential for commercial content, awareness of machine translation capabilities and limitations is increasingly important. Post-editing machine translation, BEMT, represents a growing area of commercial translation work. Terminology management, systematic terminology management ensures consistency across translation and projects using specialized databases to store and retrieve approved terms and their translations. Quality in commercial translation, quality dimensions. Quality in commercial translation encompasses multiple dimensions: accuracy, correct transfer of meaning and information, language quality, grammatical correctness, natural expression, and appropriate style, terminology, consistent and appropriate use of specialized terms, cultural appropriateness, sustainability, or suitability for target culture and audience, fitness for purpose, effectiveness in achieving intended business objectives, format and presentation, proper layout, formatting, and visual elements, quality assessment. Various methods assess translation quality. First, error analysis and categorization, comparative evaluation against the source text. Number three, functional testing for user documentation, user feedback and satisfaction measures, peer review and expert evaluation, quality assurance processes. Systematic quality assurance includes clear quality criteria and specifications, multi-stage review processes, checklists and quality control procedures, continuous improvement based on feedback, technology-assisted quality checks. Now let's move to challenges in commercial translation. Linguistic challenges. Untranslatable terms, concepts that lack direct equivalents in the target language. Blasphemy, words with multiple meanings requiring careful interpretation. Register variations, choosing appropriate formality levels and tune. Wordplay and creativity, translating puns, rhymes, or creative language. Cultural challenges, cultural references, adapting culturally specific allusions and examples, values and norms, respecting different cultural values and communication preferences, taboos and sensitivities, avoiding culturally inappropriate content, visual elements, adapting images, colors, and symbols for cultural appropriateness. Business challenges, tight deadlines, balancing speed with quality under time pressure, client expectations, managing sometimes unrealistic uh, expectations about translation process, pricing pressure, maintaining quality while facing competitive pricing, scope creep, defining and maintaining clear project boundaries, technical challenges. File format complexity, working with various file types and formatting requirements, multimedia content, translating content integrated with images, videos, or interactive elements, volume and scale, managing large translation projects efficiently, technology integration, adapting to new tools and platforms. So the foundations, to conclude all of this, the foundations of commercial translation rest on a complex interplay of linguistic expertise, cultural knowledge, business understanding, and professional competencies. Success in this field requires not only excellent language skills, but also the ability to understand and serve business objectives while navigating cultural differences and maintaining the highest quality standards. As business continue or as businesses continue to expand globally and the markets become increasingly interconnected, the demand for skilled commercial translators will only grow. Those who master the foundations outlined in this chapter position themselves to build successful careers in this dynamic and rewarding profession. The following chapters will build upon these foundations, exploring specific types of commercial translation, advanced techniques and strategies, practical workflow, and emerging trends that shape the future of the profession. Key takeaways: commercial translation serves business purposes and must support commercial objectives while maintaining linguistic accuracy and cultural appropriateness. Commercial translators function as language experts, cultural mediators, and business consultants, requiring diverse competencies beyond linguistic skill. Core principles include accuracy, cultural adaptation, purpose orientation, audience focus, consistency, and quality. The translation process involves systematic steps from analysis through revision and client feedback. Commercial translation encompasses diverse text types, including marketing, legal, financial, technical, and digital content. Professional ethics and quality standards guide commercial translation practice. Technology plays an increasingly important role in commercial translation workflows. Success requires balancing linguistic, cultural, business, and technical challenges while maintaining professional standards. So let's move now to chapter two, Foundations of Academic Translation. Academic translation represents a specialized and intellectually rigorous domain within translation studies, encompassing the rendering of scholarly work, research publications, educational materials, and intellectual discourse across languages and cultures. Unlike commercial translation, which primarily serves business objectives, academic translation facilitates the international exchange of knowledge, ideas, and research findings that advance human understanding across disciplines. This chapter explores the unique characteristics, principles, competencies, and the challenges that define academic translation, providing a comprehensive foundation for understanding this vital area of scholarly communication. Academic translators serve not merely linguistic media intermediaries, but as gatekeepers of knowledge transfer, whose work directly impacts the dimensions and accessibility of research, the advancement of scholarship, and democratization of learning across linguistic boundaries. Defining academic translation: what is academic translation? Academic translation refers to the translation of scholarly and educational texts that contribute to knowledge production, this mention and pedagogy within academic and research contexts. This encompasses a diverse range of materials, including research articles and papers, academic books and and monographs, dissertations and theses, conference proceedings and presentations, educational textbooks and course materials, academic journals and periodicals, research proposals and grant applications, abstract and bibliographic databases, scholarly reviews, and the critics, academic websites, and digital uh, repositories. Distinguishing characteristics. Academic translation possesses several defining features that distinguish it from other translation types. Knowledge centered. The primary purpose is to facilitate knowledge transfer and scholarly communication rather than commercial gain or entertainment. Accuracy in conveying complex ideas and specialized knowledge is paramount. Discipline-specific academic texts operate within specific dictionary frameworks, each within or each with its own terminology, conventions, research methods, or research methodologies, and epistemological approaches. Translators must navigate these disciplinary contexts effectively. Citation and referencing. Academic translation must preserve the integrity of citation systems by bibliographic references and the in-textual relationships that characterize scholarly discourse. Objectivity and precision. Academic texts typically employs objective, precise language with minimal ambiguity. Translations must maintain this precision while rendering content accessible to target audiences. Peer review and validation. Academic translations often undergo rigorous review process similar to original scholarship, requiring translators to meet extracting standards of accuracy and scholarly rigor, uh, authorial voice and argumentation, preserving the author's argumentative structure, theoretical positioning, and scholarly voice is crucial in academic translation. The role of academic translation in knowledge transfer. Academic translation serves several critical functions in the global knowledge economy, democratizing knowledge, making research and scholarship accessible across linguistic boundaries, particularly enabling scholars in non-dominant language communities to access and contribute to international discourse. Cross-cultural scholarship, facilitating dialogue between different intellectual traditions and search paradigms, enriching global scholarship through diverse perspectives, curriculum development, enabling educational institutions to access and adapt teaching materials from different linguistic contexts, enhancing pedagogical resources, research collaboration, support international research partnerships and collaborative projects by enabling communication across language barriers. Publication access, allowing researchers to publish in prestigious international journals and research wider audiences beyond their native language communities. The academic translator roles and competencies, core roles. The academic translator fulfills multiple interconnected roles. A scholar translator, unlike many commercial translators, academic translators often possess advanced subject matter expertise, sometimes holding advanced degrees in relevant disciplines. They engage with texts not merely as linguistic artifacts, but as intellectual works requiring deep comprehension. Knowledge mediator bridges epistemological and conceptual differences between source and target academic cultures, recognizing that knowledge systems and the scholarly traditions vary across linguistic and cultural contexts. Terminological authority develops and standardizes the discipline specific terminology in target languages, particularly when translating concepts that lack established equivalents. Research communicators ensures that research findings, methodologies, and theoretical frameworks are currently and effectively communicated to target language scholarly communities. Gatekeeper of academic standards, maintaining scholarly rigor, academic conventions, and ethical standards in translated works, ensuring that translations meet the quality expectations of academic discourse. Essential competencies. Success in academic translation requires a sophisticated and multifaceted skill set, advanced linguistic competence, a superior command of both source and target languages, including mastery of academic registry and scholarly writing conventions, ability to navigate complex syntactic structures characteristic of academic prose, understanding of rhetorical patterns and argumentation styles in both languages, sensitivity to subtle semantic distinctions crucial in scholarly discourse, disciplinary expertise, deep knowledge of one or more academic disciplines, including understanding of theoretical frameworks and methodological approaches, familiarity with key concepts, databases, or debates and literature in the field, awareness of disciplinary conventions for presenting research and arguments, recognition of implicit references and disciplinary contexts, research skills, ability to conduct thorough research to verify terminological accuracy and conceptual equivalence, investigate unfamiliar concepts and theories, locate authoritative sources and parallel texts, understand broader scholarly conversations and contexts, critical thinking, analytical abilities to evaluate arguments, identify logical structures, recognize implicit assumptions and theoretical positions, assess the coherence and the validity of translated arguments, make informed decisions about translating complex and ambiguous content. Okay, bibliographical and citation competence, understanding of various citation systems, ABA, Chicago, MLA, Harvard, etc. Requirements of translating bibliographic information, conventions for citing translated works, proper handling of footnotes, endnotes, and in-text citations. And we'll stop here and we'll continue, inshallah, next session tomorrow. Until next time, tata for now.